Yeah, hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In this video I'd like to show you a great example of how the tools in MTPredictor can uncover a great trade, not just by following the automatic setups, but by using the large degree trend to help determine where the market's going on a time frame higher than you're trading. So let's start, for example, with this is FXCM data from eSignal. So this data is good enough to be able to chart on very short time frames. So let's start with a 15-minute chart. What's important in trading is to be able to project in advance areas of future support and resistance. So on this 15-minute chart, if I go to our decision point tool and click choose swing high or low, come back to the last major sort of swing pivot low, which is here. As you can see, we've now got a level on the chart in advance, i.e. before the market gets there. Oh, this is the British pound against the US dollar, by the way, on a 15-minute chart. So British pound against US dollar, 15-minute chart, a Forex chart, FXCM data from eSignal. So here we have a support zone on our chart in advance. So as the market moves down here, you can see now the market has actually reached that level, and in fact actually it bounced off that level, and now, as you can see, is starting to rally really quite nice and strongly. So that shows you that in advance we projected a level, so we knew that was a level to look for larger degree, i.e. 15-minute support. So from there, let's move down to a 3-minute chart. This is a 3-minute chart I've got here, and as you can see, if I scroll out a bit, we have a TS1 buy setup down here. Standard MTPredictor guidelines would suggest that this is against a red STF, therefore the trend is down, therefore you'd avoid it. However, because we have already seen that this was at a major low and we're expecting the market to rally off that, advanced traders can then take this trade setup. And in fact, this is what I call a holy grail setup. Why? Well, let's have a look at this in more detail. Before I start that, I'd just like to look at the decline going down into this last low. If I put our Elliott waves on, just by clicking and clicking, you can see that we did have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave decline. So yet again, this is another reason why we'd anticipate this area here as coming in for major support. So first of all, on the 15-minute chart, as we've seen, we had major support, therefore we anticipated the trend was going to go up. On our 3-minute chart, again we had termination of a 5-wave sequence, therefore we're expecting a rally into at least, if I choose the DP of the prior wave 4, we're anticipating a rally into at least this level here. And as you can see, that's exactly what unfolded. Because of this anticipated rally, we'd be avoiding these sells here, because again we're anticipating the market to go up, therefore we do not want to take sells. But the trade that interests me is this TS1 buy here. This is a holy grail setup. If we put our analysis on, you can see that it gives us a trade setup where the market looks like it's going to go up to the first target, but because of the larger degree support back here, we're anticipating this trend is going to go higher. So therefore we'd want to look to run the trade further, but the question is, into where? Normally with our holy grail targets, I'd say that we anticipate a move past the first or initial target, which is here, up into our typical wave 3 WPT, which is this level here. So the initial target for this, based on our holy grail analysis, would be, whoops, I've missed, my mouse went a little bit wrong there, would be at this level here for, as you can see, a potential 9R profit. However, as I've already shown, we're anticipating the market to rally up to this decision point from the prior wave 4 high. So therefore we'd want to actually take this a little bit further. So if we now put the risk reward analysis on up into our large degree support zone up at this DP, you can see that this actually was projecting a profit of 17R. Yes, 17 times the initial risk. You'll notice that our position sizing, this is on Forex, I'm actually using a $1 a pip size here for the Forex account. So $20,000 risking 2% per trade means I'll actually be able to buy 133 lots. This keeps the initial risk nice and small at just under $400. In other words, 2% of a $20,000 account. And as you can see, the market's gone up to this level, and this is in real time. You see the market's unfolding in real time. Look where the market reversed, just here. So the market went to our level and is now starting to decline sharply. But the point being is, by having this target on our chart in advance, we could then anticipate that this would be the level where we'd want to bank our profits. And as you can see, this would have meant a lovely 17, well actually a massive 17R profit. So yes, for risking about $400, the profit on this trade here would have been, well, $6,700. And this all unfolded from 6:12 EST to 8:30 EST, so in an hour and a half. So an absolutely brilliant example of a MTPredictor trade, a holy grail trade, where we look to take the TS1 trade setup here and manage it with the larger degree targets. The larger degree targets were based on our prior Elliott wave pattern, but the most important thing is we were anticipating a strong rally up here because, if you remember right at the start of this video, I projected this 15-minute support zone on the chart, right back here. And that's the important part, is having levels on your chart in advance of where you're anticipating support and resistance. Then when the market gets into those areas, you can then look to take your trade setups accordingly. So I hope this has been a good video to show MTPredictor setups on a Forex chart. In this example, British pound against the US dollar using FXCM e-signal data, where the trade setup was uncovered on a 3-minute chart, and we used 15-minute charts for our larger degree support and resistance. And as you can see, the result, a lovely, well in fact actually a massive 17R profit.